Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're gonna pull back the curtain on one of your home's most expensive and hardest working appliances, your HVAC system. Yeah, your heating and air conditioning. You probably don't think about it much, but trust me, it's fighting a battle for you every single day.
And we're calling this a battle because, well, that's exactly what it is. That multi-thousand-dollar system you own, it's in a constant fight against a relentless barrage of environmental forces. And the craziest part? Most of the time you have no clue this fight is even happening.
So to really get what's going on, we have to understand the battlefield. And for our case study today, we're dropping into one of the toughest arenas imaginable for any air conditioner, South Florida. This is a place where the climate pushes these machines to their absolute breaking point.
I mean, think about it. From April all the way through October, your system is in a non-stop fight for its life. It's not just about keeping you cool, it's about surviving this continuous assault from all these different environmental attackers that are just wearing down every single component, day in and day out. And look, it's not just one enemy. It's a full-on combined assault. You've got the intense heat, right? Then there's the oppressive humidity that forces the system to literally pull gallons and gallons of water out of the air. You've got corrosive salt just eating away at the metal, and on top of all that, the constant threat of power surges from thunderstorms. Any one of these is a tough opponent. Together, it's brutal.
And that battle, it has a very real cost. You see, an HVAC system might last, say, 15 to 20 years in a milder climate. But our source material shows that in a harsh environment like South Florida, that lifespan can get slashed down to just 10 to 15 years. This war takes a heavy, heavy toll.
Okay, so how can you tell when your system is starting to lose the fight? Well, it rarely just dies silently. Instead, it starts sending out these clear SOS signals, these little warning signs that a critical part is about to fail. This is usually the first red flag anybody notices. You walk over to a vent, you're expecting that blast of cold air, and you get nothing but lukewarm disappointment. This almost always points directly to a very specific and, believe me, very common component failure. And the culprit is often this little guy, the capacitor. Think of it like a small battery that stores up a really powerful electrical charge. When the system needs to kick on, the capacitor releases that charge in one big jolt to get the heavy compressor and fan motor spinning. But here's the problem. When it's baking in the 130-degree sun, it just degrades fast. And get this. This one small part is the #1 reason for emergency AC calls in hot climates. All right, the second major SOS signal is a puddle of water forming around your indoor unit. Now, your system is designed to handle water, but when you see it pooling on your floor, that's your system screaming that a critical drainage function has failed. Remember all that humidity we talked about? Your AC pulls it from the air as water, and it's all supposed to drain away through a pipe. But in a humid place, that drain line becomes the perfect breeding ground for algae and all sorts of gunk, which creates a clog. The water has nowhere to go, so it backs up, and that can shut your system right off or, even worse, start flooding your house. But the most critical failure, the really big one, is when the heart of the system gives out. The compressor is the engine. It's what pumps the refrigerant, and it just gets overworked from running 10, 12 hours a day. When it fails, the battle is over. And you, the homeowner, are left with a major decision. So when you have a serious problem like that, you have to call for reinforcements. But not all backup is created equal. A straightforward, transparent service process is absolutely essential to make sure you don't get taken advantage of during a super stressful emergency. A professional service call should really eliminate all the uncertainty for you. The key steps are, first, a thorough diagnosis to find the root cause, not just slap a bandage on the symptom. Second, and this is so crucial, you get an exact price before any work begins. No surprise charges on the final bill. And finally, the work is tested and backed by a warranty. This isn't a luxury, folks. This is the standard you should absolutely demand.
All right, so the technician has a diagnosis. And now you face the ultimate question, what our source material calls the $5,000 question. Your system is older, it's been through a lot, it's battle-worn. Is it really worth it to fix it one more time?
This is such a simple but really powerful rule of thumb to help you make a smart financial call. All you do is multiply the cost of the repair by the age of your system in years. It gives you a number that helps you avoid throwing good money after bad. And you can see the tipping point so clearly right here. A $400 repair on a 10-year-old system gives you a value of $4,000. Since that's under the $5,000 threshold, a repair is a pretty reasonable choice. But now look at the next line. A $600 repair on a 12-year-old unit. That gives you $7,200. You've crossed the line. Now it's really time to start thinking about a replacement.
So this is the final calculation, isn't it? A repair, yeah, it has a lower upfront cost and it gets you cool again right away. But a replacement, while it's definitely more expensive at first, gives you long-term reliability, higher efficiency, which means lower bills, and a brand new warranty on everything.
So how do you avoid these super high-stakes, middle-of-the-summer emergency decisions in the first place? Well, the best offense is a good defense. The best strategy is to equip your system with a secret weapon, proactive care, and a real focus on efficiency.
And here's the really good news. Your best weapons in this fight, they are not complicated. Cleaning coils, for instance, is just like clearing leaves off a car's radiator. It lets the system breathe and get rid of heat efficiently instead of straining. And something as simple as changing your air filter every month, that just ensures air can move freely so the fan motor doesn't have to work overtime. These simple tasks can dramatically improve your system's chances of survival and save you a fortune in the long run.
And when the day comes that you do have to replace your system, efficiency is king. The key thing to look for is the SEER rating. The easiest way to think about it is like miles per gallon for your car. A higher number just means you're getting more cooling for every single dollar you spend on your electricity bill. Simple as that.
And that choice has a huge impact on your wallet. A modern 16 SEER unit uses about 23% less electricity than an older 13 SEER model. Now, it might cost a bit more upfront, but in a climate where your AC runs constantly, those energy savings add up incredibly fast.
So think of it this way. Investing in one of these high SEER units, it's not really an expense. It's more like a long-term financial strategy. The source material says you can actually get that higher upfront cost back in pure energy savings in as little as 5 years. And after that, it's literally money back in your pocket every single month.
So, in the end, it all comes down to this one question. By understanding the battlefield your system is on, by recognizing the signs that it's in trouble, and by arming it with proactive maintenance and smart, efficient choices, you can turn the tide of this war. You can make sure your home's hardest worker wins its battle for years and years to come.